Welcome back to the Games Get Played Network. I'm your host, Waz, and I'm back. Listen, everybody have their opinions, but at the end of the day, the games have to be played. You have to line it up and see how you come out on the other side of it. So we can talk about what's on paper all we want to. We can look at the film, but until you step in between those white lines, we got to wait until the games are played. Without further ado, we're going to get into this SMU versus Miami preview. So, this weekend, this Saturday, November the 1st, Miami travels to SMU, man. Dallas, Texas, Gerald Ford Stadium. 12 noon on ESPN. Miami takes on SMU. Let's go ahead and get into this, man. This is going to be a highly competitive game, in my opinion. ESPN has Miami at a 70% win percentage. You know, I'm not going to necessarily get into the score just yet, but personally, I think this is going to be an extremely competitive game. SMU is coming off the loss to Wake, 12-13. Really tight game. Miami is obviously coming off the win to Stanford, 42-7. To me, that score is deceptive. Miami was in a dogfight with Stanford the entire first half and the initial part of the second half. And then, you know, they kind of took off once certain plays was made. Defense kept getting stops. Baby Jesus gave them the spark, and then they was off to the races with it. So just overall, if you don't know, SMU is 5-3. They're 3-1 in the ACC. Miami comes in at 6-1, ranked number 10, 2-1 overall in the ACC. So SMU's overall scheme on offense, man, they like to line it up. They like to go quick. Miami fans are very familiar with Rhett Lashley. Obviously, he was the offensive coordinator here for Manny Diaz for a couple of years before he left. It was the first time that Miami had gotten, I guess, into the modern era of offense, I guess you'd say, got away from the pro style stuff and, you know, just started doing more. And I don't think Rhett did a lot that was super complicated. A lot of his stuff was about having the tempo sped up and kind of knowing all of your keys and checks and just going. So, you know, overall, SMU just covering them, you know, from top to bottom. So overall, SMU is averaging 31 points per game. That's good for 51st in the nation. On defense, they're giving up 21 points per game. That's 43rd in the nation. So their leading passer, or I don't say leading passer, their quarterback is Kevin Jennings. He completing 66% of his passes on the year. He got 2,100 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Their leading rusher on the year is TJ Harden with 456, 5 touchdowns. Their second leading rusher is Chris Johnson Jr., which Miami fans are obviously familiar with. He got 314 on the year. He averaging 7.5 a pop, 3 touchdowns. He also has 163 receiving yards. So when it comes to, you know, stuff out the backfield and stuff like that, he's obviously more of a threat than Harden is. And we know he's going to try to play the game of his life, right? Overall, he had really been struggling into the last couple of weeks anyway. But he had a big game, I believe, 2 weeks ago, which kind of, you know, looks like it's giving him a boost of confidence. At wide receiver, their leading receiver, Miami fans are also familiar with, Romello Brinson. Obviously, Romello went to the West. He went to Miami Northwestern, was a star there. He was here at UM things didn't pan out. So he went over, took his talents to SMU. And to be honest, man, for me anyway, I love seeing these kids do well that are from the area. So he left, and now he's their leading receiver on the year, man, with 515 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging 14 yards a catch. This obviously is his last ride, and he's playing like it's his last ride. You know, this is his best season that he's ever had by far. And, you know, right now he's on track to surpass everything, the total that he's done in his previous 4 seasons in this one season alone. Right. So, you know, that's their leading guy at wide receiver. So definitely look for Kevin Jennings to try to get Romello the ball. After that, you got Jordan Hudson, 355 yards on the year. Overall, those are the main 2 guys at wide receiver. Obviously, Chris Johnson gets involved like out of the backfield, but just when you start to just go into who the next guys would be, Jalen Cooper got 271 yards on the year. He's averaging 18 yards per snag. And then you got RJ Maryland, who's the starting tight end, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the backup tight end, Matthew Hibner, also has 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. So they're spreading the ball around for sure. No question about that. When it comes to, you know, what they're doing and everything, it's more so just on Miami to make sure stuff is clean. Just make sure it's clean. That's it. Keep it simple. Make sure stuff is clean, man. This game is really all about Miami, and it's not so much about SMU. I do think it's going to be highly competitive, but just overall, like if I'm being totally honest, like there's nothing about SMU that concerns me. Right? It's just not. Now, when we talking about, you know, what they do or don't have up front, you know, so Terry Webb, he is one of the best sack guys in the ACC. He got 5.5 sacks and a forced fumble so far this year, you know, so for a DT to have that many sacks, I will say is extremely impressive for me. You know, when you talk about like wanting to get penetration up the middle and wanting to get penetration from some of those big guys, I do think that that's key. That's super key, right? So, and then their leading tackler is number 12, Isaiah. I'm not going to pronounce his last name because I'm not sure if I would say it properly. And I hate when people mispronounce my last name. So number 12, the safety, he got 65 tackles on the year, 2 interceptions. He's broken up 7 passes. He has a forced fumble. So clearly he's all over the place. Last year he had 100 tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 PBUs. Like this guy he flies around and he makes plays for SMU. I will say overall, there's not too much I'm concerned with. So on Miami side, you got Carson Beck, 1,673 yards on the year, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Obviously, 73% completion percentage. Mark Fletcher is our leading rusher, 552 yards on the year, averaging 5 a pop. He got 9 touchdowns. Fletch been doing it, making it do what it do. We know who leading us in receiving, man. Malachi out there snapping, 562. CJ, 351. We know what we need to do, right? I will say this. I said I don't have any concerns. One of the concerns that I have is at center, right? just knowing and understanding that they have somebody explosive at DT with Webb, I wonder what that looks like for us, especially when what I've been seeing or what I was seeing last game and the previous game and just stuff like that. Like just seeing Brockenmeyer struggle like that. I wonder what that looks like. And I wonder if he does struggle, if we give him help, right? If Maribald makes an adjustment and allows somebody to stab or help chip or something that just kind of make it a little easier for him, right? Because he's going to have his hands full the entire night. So it's really just more so about, are we going to kind of put guys in the right position that they need to be in? If we being totally honest, that's more so what it's going to be about for me. Miami averaging 34 a game. That's good for 36 in the nation. We're giving up 14 points a game, 8th in the nation. So still an overall top 10 scoring defense, man. We're only giving up 270 total yards per game. That's it, 270. Right? That's all we're giving up for the entire game. Their defense is giving up 399 yards per game. They're getting a total of 388 per game. So overall, the numbers look good on their defense, like from a run game perspective. But if we being real, like their back end is Swiss cheese, bro. That shit is Swiss cheese. They're giving up 303 passing yards per game. Bro, we not even giving up 300 total yards per game, and they giving up 303 passing yards per game. When I tell you the back end is Swiss cheese, it's premium Swiss cheese. All right? They cannot cover anybody. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Baylor quarterback, 440 passing yards, 4 touchdowns on them guys. Running back ran for 115. Defense is premium Swiss cheese. Missouri State quarterback threw for 275 on them guys. I know he threw the 3 picks, but 275 from a Missouri State quarterback is crazy. TCU threw for 379 yards and 5 touchdowns on these guys. McAllister, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns receiving on these cats. When your safety is making 100 tackles in a year, there's a chance that there's something wrong with your defense. They played Syracuse. They beat them. Ricky Collins threw for 279. He did throw 3 interceptions, but if you've seen Syracuse play, this is Ricky Collins, 279. They also played Stanford, just like we did. The same quarterback that threw for 50 yards on our defense threw for 278 yards on their defense. Cole Branson, we just seen him play 50 yards, but he threw for 278 on them. And then they beat Clemson. The backup quarterback, 317, 29 of 42, 3 touchdowns on them boys. You see the trend. You see the vibes. You see what's going on. These guys, that they're averaging 300 yards, bro. 300 yards a game through the air that you giving up on defense is insane. In this last game, the guy only threw for 183. Come on, bro. You giving up 300 yards per game on defense, you're not beating my Canes, bro. The defense is Swiss cheese. I've seen them play. You can get whatever you want over the top on these guys. You can do whatever you want with their secondary, period. You need Beck to not make stupid decisions, but it will be there for the taking. And honestly, man, I like Malachi to probably go for a buck iffy on these boys. Real talk. They have nothing for Malachi. They have nothing for CJ. They have nothing for Tony Johnson. They have nothing for JoJo Trader. They have nothing for Joshua Moore. For anybody, they have nothing. Line it up and throw the ball on these guys. I do not want to see IZ. There's a reason these cats giving up 300 passing yards per game. Exploit their weaknesses. Dawson, do you fucking hear me, bro? Don't go out here and run that IZ 8 out of 10 times, bro. Switch it up and stop being predictable. The defense is Swiss cheese anyway. But if you want to talk about where their strength is, it would be run game, technically, based off who they played. Not really so. But they haven't faced a good run team. Enough good running teams. And when they did, folks chopped it on them. Baylor chopped it on them. Like, this light work, bro. Their defense is garbage. Point blank, period. The defense is trash. They do get penetration. Like the pass rush is there, but the back end is cheeks. And I don't think the pass rush is going to be there when they play a top O-line. Just make sure you give the center some help and we're good, bro. I went ahead and watched everything on SMU. And this is another case of Miami has to not beat Miami. That is it, bro. That is going to be the theme from now into the rest of the season. As soon as the Stanford game looked like it was going sideways, people in the group chat was like, hey, Wise, man, looked like you should have did the film breakdown. If I do the film breakdown on the channel or not, I watch the film on these teams. And, part of what we discuss isn't just based upon stats. Right? It's about what I see on film. And for me, because of the tempo that they like to try to go with sometimes, that can bite you in the ass because it used to bite us when Rhett was here at Miami. The one thing I will say is we've played multiple running quarterbacks, and to me, Jennings hasn't been getting off running as much as he had in the past this year. I think we should be good to be able to match up with their guys on the outside one-on-one. The problem is going to come in is if we try to play too much zone. I personally think we need to play man, and then we need to spy Jennings. That's the best bet. Man and spy Jennings. Chris Johnson can hurt you with his home run speed. I'm just being totally honest. You don't want Romello going up top. Like some of these kids that played for Miami that are now at SMU, you don't want to get them any kind of juice to get going, to get their teammates all hyped up and all of that. We don't want to do any of that. You want to come in and you do not want to be down early. I'm telling you right now, Dawson, you do not want to be down early on the road at SMU. Because I'm telling you right now, if them boys get a lead and then they get a stop and the offense don't score and they get that ball back and they go up by 2 scores, Dawson is going to fold. He will fold. I don't even want to see us down by 2 scores in this game. Go play a complete football game and handle business, bro. The Canes ain't handled business for the entire game all year, and that's including Bethune because they shouldn't even got 3. Go handle business. That's it. Handle business and we good. This game ain't about SMU. This game is about Miami, but we cannot keep seeing some of the same bullshit we've been seeing week after week. Dawson, throw the tight end the ball, bro. Stop running inside zone every time. You have a bag, but it's hard for you to get in your bag because all Dawson does is try to set plays up. He needs to run IZ and get certain looks off of it in order to set it up. He ain't just scheming something to be open. Like, he need to show the defense certain keys and certain fits, and then he's like, now I can call this. But when IZ doesn't work, he's not able to. So what I need Dawson to do is to actually be a good play caller. You got mad this week when the media asked you that question about why you like running inside so much, and your stupid ass gonna say, oh, when you in shotgun, you 90% of the time you're gonna run into the A or the B gap. Like, bro, stop calling the same plays. That's all they trying to tell you. That shit garbage, bro. Find another way to do what you're trying to do. As soon as you run it outside, what happened? Yards. But I will say this, man. This was around the time last year that Damian Martinez started to heat up. So I'm not sure if Fletcher just going to take it to the next level, or if it's going to be Lyle, or if it's going to be Shamar Brown. But one of the backs, I feel like, is really about to pop off. Martinez was struggling the whole year, and I think it was around that Louisville game. And man, oh man, he took them boys on a ride. If you put that highlight up, man, he took them boys on a ride. So I got a great feeling that it's gonna be a scenario like that. We're on the road again, right? It's about the same time of year, and we need a statement game. We need one. Show them we not playing, bro. I already know what baby Jesus coming to do. Hey, CJ, I need you to tighten up. You'd have made some great plays this year. You'd have had some drops. It looked like your focus was a little off last week. Tighten up. Hey, Tony Johnson, man. I love what I'm seeing. Let's keep it going. JoJo, I feel like you're going to catch some passes this week. The defense switched cheese, so the wide receivers should be getting hella snaps. We should be playing multiple wide receivers this week. Their defense is Swiss cheese. Joshua Moore, JoJo, Tony, Ray, Malachi, CJ. Play everybody, bro. Everybody eat back. You should have 300 passing yards in this game. They're giving up 300. I expect you to have 3. The only way you don't have 3 is if we run it super crazy on these boys. But other than that, I expect to see you with 300 passing yards, bro. I do. They giving up 300 a game. Guys are throwing and getting whatever they want on this team. Beck, I need you to play like you're a senior. I don't need freshman play on the road. I know you can do it. We don't need to see one of them nostalgic old Beck UGA games like you gave us against Louisville. I don't want to see that shit no more for the rest of the year, bro. Save that for when you go to the NFL. All I need out of you is I need good play for the rest of the way, bro. Do not be the reason we lose another game, Carson Beck. And straight up, Twan said it wasn't even on Beck. He said he blamed Shannon Dawson. Hey, man, somebody need to get it right. And then I do want to address this too. For all of y'all Miami fans that be like, bro, we keep running that same thing because I know Mario involved. If you watch the other one, I put up the stuff from people talking about him from Houston all the way back to his other days at West Virginia. So he is doing exactly what he always does. So for y'all that's saying that this is Mario ball, bro, this is not Mario ball. This Shannon Dawson ball. And he been doing this for years. Not playing the tight end, running up the middle too much, not utilizing screens when he should, and not actually scheming stuff. It's just predictability. And at some point, you cannot keep depending on your players being better than the other players to win you games. That is not a championship mentality. Because when you run into a team who has equivalent players talent-wise or better, that means they're going to smack our ass because all we got going for us is saying that our players are better, but we're not going to scheme and do different things. As far as the defense, I need another great game from y'all. I need another great game defense. Heatherman, stop with all of this excessive blitzing. Most of the blitzing is ineffective anyway. As far as overall for keeping eyes on Jennings, bro, you can use a similar game plan that you use against Castellanos to just make sure that you're not. He hasn't been taken off a lot as much as he have in the past. So to make sure of it, no, play him like you played Castellanos. Play them that way. You got plenty of opportunity to show that you're ready for this moment. Play them that way. I need to see, I don't know if Mezzi playing this week, but Poyser, Jacoby, Scott, everybody. I want to see more of Damari Brown. I feel like I barely be seeing him on the field. Bain, Lightfoot, Basaint, Torrey. Oh man, Lucas, O'Connor, like everybody, bro. Popo, Blunt. Hey, Blade, we need some plays this week, bro. Defense, get up on it, dog. We gotta do this. Go in, get up, take care of business, get out of there. That's it. Do not go in there playing with SMU, because if you go in there and play with them, Miami can very well lose this game. This is not a layup. This is not a shoe-in game by any stretch of the imagination for Miami. Miami has to go in and execute. Leave the penalties at home. Leave the dumb shit at home. Get in here and go execute so we can move on and be 7-1, bro. That is it. That's it. And speaking of 7-1, you know, just the overall outlook of everything, man, like, Virginia is undefeated in the ACC, and so is Georgia Tech. Neither one of them play each other. To me, I don't think Virginia's that good. I personally don't. They obviously had the dog fight with Louisville that they pulled out. They had another dog fight with North Carolina this week. North Carolina had multiple opportunities to win that game. They obviously didn't cash in, but I don't feel like Virginia's good. I look at their schedule and I see where they could lose 2 games easily, or they also could just stay undefeated. For me personally, I don't even want to play in the ACC Championship. I don't want to play that extra game. I would like Miami to run the table and be 11-1. If we run the table and we 11-1, bro, we going to get in. We got an extra week to rest. That's just the way I look at it. Handle business each and every week, and everything else will take care of itself. It's just that simple. Miami just cannot beat Miami. And I know y'all probably tired of hearing me say it, but do not turn the ball over. Do not commit stupid penalties. If you can do that and play solid on special teams, you're going to give yourself a good chance to win. Because in all of that, if you're not turning it over, right, you're playing good on special teams, and you keeping the penalties at a minimum, you're going to make them earn everything they get. So if they're stopping you, they have to earn it. We're not helping them and aiding them by giving them yards or stuff like that. All of the hidden yardage, no, we don't want to do any of that. We don't want to do any of that. So handle business, do what you need to do. For me, overall, I think the game is tight. I think the game is extremely tight, and I'm teetering back and forth between 2 scores or 2 ideas. I got Miami just by 1 score clean, or potentially by 10 points, right? So you can put both of these up there because I'm not totally sure to where I'm leaning at right now. I have Miami winning, let me say that, but I'm feeling either 31-21 or 28-20. I do have Miami winning. I think it's a tight game. I think the defense does enough so we can get out of there. But I actually like Carson Beck to have his highest passing game of the season. Beck has not thrown for 300 yards yet, and I fully expect him to throw for at least 300 yards this Saturday. The game is at 12 noon, so as soon as the 7U championship is over with, I'm headed straight home, man. I'm going to be locked in for the game. Canes fans, lock in for the game. And for all of y'all Canes fans that be doing all that crying and complaining, stop watching the games, bro. I'm in the group chat. Motherfuckers in there talking about they cutting the game off. You know who I'm talking about, Hollywood. Some of y'all in there panicking like y'all ain't never seen a team just not play well. Oh my God, I can't watch this. Just turn it off. Just turn it off. For all of y'all out there hating on the Canes fans that want to see the Canes do bad, just turn the game off, bro. Nobody making you watch this. You watching by choice. Just turn it off. We don't need that kind of energy in the air. You feel me? But other than that, man, I don't have anything else. I appreciate everybody tuning in to the channel. A lot of new subscribers as of late. If you like what you're seeing, definitely subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and like the videos. I love having the talks in the comments, man. Me and them Louisville fans had a lot of good conversations. Let's get in here and discuss what we're seeing. What are y'all seeing, right? When it comes down to offense and defense and just certain things we aren't doing, like what are y'all seeing? Like what do y'all feel like we need to be doing? What players do you feel like should be playing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to get into this conversation before Saturday, and we got plenty of time to do it. So hop in the comments. Let's have healthy conversation. Like I said, I appreciate everybody tuning in. And once again, man, I'm signing off. Until next time, man, Games Get Played Network, and we out.
By any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parks, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you.